All right. So today we're not in the booth. I know it looks a little different in here, different couch and shit. We're across the way at Soundbyte, and they're a nice recording studio. So today we got Cheatcode with us, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
I appreciate you for coming through, my boy.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
So where you from, for the people who don't know?
I'm originally from Fresno, California, actually.
Okay.
A little bit down the way.
Yeah, out the way. What's going on in Fresno, though, you know?
The regular
Life.
same shit, I guess.
What do you think is the difference between Sacramento and Fresno? Or how you feel like the difference is?
Just the size is I think the biggest difference. I think it's actually pretty similar in terms of the people. Kind of like the philosophy of people, I guess. But yeah, Sacramento's like a blown out version of that.
How long you been in Sac for?
2014? Something like that.
Oh, so you've been here for a minute then?
Yeah. 2014, I came here at 18 years old.
Okay.
For college.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
You like it better out here or hometown?
Yeah, there's more to do here. You feel me?
Did I get it?
There's a lot less to do over there, you know? I grew up there, so.
How was life growing up there?
It was cool.
Decent?
You know? Yeah.
Mom, dad?
Nah, mom, brother.
Okay.
Big ass extended family.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
Everybody.
Grandpa,
17
grandma.
cousins.
Yeah, bro, I got more than that for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I wasn't around them daily, but you know.
Around enough to
Yeah,
know.
bro. I used to have cousins that I went to high school with that I didn't even meet until I was out of high school.
Bruh. Talk about Fresno so small, huh?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, actually, I remember I went back the first year for like summer because I was in the dorms, so I had to go back. And I was walking back home, and fucking a truck pulls up next to me, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Truck pulls up next to me, and it's a family member telling me that he was picking up his daughters, and I was like, I've seen these two before.
Right.
I had no idea that I was related to them in any way.
That's crazy, bro.
They were like 3 years younger than me or something like that, 2 years younger.
So what kind of music you listen to growing up?
I listened to pretty much everything. That's kind of...
Wide variety?
Yeah, that's kind of why the big family's kind of relevant, too.
Mm.
Because my grandma's house always had at least 6 people in it. Of
Heavy,
all
bro.
ages. Yeah.
From baby to 70 years old.
Yeah,
I know
bro.
how that shit goes.
Yeah. So I had, like, my grandfather who was listening to, you know, old school music. He used to play jazz in the car. He used to listen to just, like, 60s, 70s music. And then he would get into some of the 80s stuff because he had kids in the 80s. So,
Okay.
you know, you got, like, my mom and my uncles and my aunts who listened to that type of thing.
Like lowrider oldies and shit, huh?
Yeah. That was like all of them who got influenced by my grandpa and stuff. My grandma saw the Beatles apparently.
That's
you know,
dope.
back in the day.
That's heavy, bro.
Yeah, for real. They listened to a lot of just a lot of stuff. Then, you know, I had like a cousin that was only like 8 years older than me, so at like 4 or 5 I heard all those early 2000s music, you know, that everybody likes and shit like that.
That's dope. So you had like a good variety of music around you.
Yeah, bro.
Is that like what got you into making music? Well,
Yeah.
making beats, really?
Yeah, music in general. I didn't know what the fuck beats were when I was younger.
Okay. You just heard the
Ignorance like a motherfucker. Well, I just figured because I was more exposed to like live instrumentation first, and then it was hip hop later. So, like, an easy ass example is Prince. Prince was huge in my family. Everyone loves Prince.
Heavy.
Saw Prince in Fresno one time. So
What?
yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
Fresno's a good stop apparently, because you know it's
Prince
like
was there?
it's in the middle.
Bro, what the fuck was this doing in Fresno?
So coming from north to the south,
That's
we were a
crazy.
stop in the tour. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, cause everybody, there's not a lot to do in Fresno either. So, like, people gonna pop out. People gonna show out.
That's crazy.
So,
Prince went to Fresno, huh?
yeah, he went to Fresno a few times,
Talk
and then I
about
just
the
got
beginning
lucky. I
of
was,
a joke.
yeah, for real. Hey, bro.
Oh, my bad.
You don't get to say that, bitch. No, I'm just.
Crazy, bro. That's tight.
Nah, but yeah. So like that's an easy example where it's like people like that got me into music first. So like Prince, Jimi Hendrix when I was like exposed to him, Santana, my uncle and I think mostly my grandpa still was listening to Santana, and that got me into like guitar. So I wanted to play guitar, and I started learning like at 12 or something like that.
You know how to play?
Yeah, yeah. I don't play
strings or not play a full song.
No, I know songs for sure.
That's
I'm too inconsistent playing wise to like get really good,
Mm-hmm.
but I learned enough. And when I was doing it every day, I was starting to like really pick up some shit. But everything just I was like 13, so when I got to high school, it was sports.
Yeah.
I got into sports, and it was always one or the other for me.
Can you play any other live instruments besides guitar?
I learned a little bit of piano at school because that's what they wanted you to. That was like part of the curriculum for the engineering shit. Was piano, because if you know the scales and shit, you know the notes of pretty much pitch of a voice and shit like that. So they're all pretty universal in that sense.
That's dope.
Yeah.
How you feel about being in Sac for so long? How you feel about the Sacramento music scene?
It's cool, man. I don't have anything to compare it to in terms of like a local scene that I've been around. It's pretty diverse. That I'm around, it can be somewhat repetitive depending on like who's coming through and who's not coming through.
Right.
But I think that's kind of the name of the game anyway. You're gonna get that pretty much probably anywhere you go. Yeah. There's gonna be something that's really, really popular that something's got to do. But I think it's mostly good, and on its way up from what I see.
Definitely booming right now.
People just gotta have a more collective mindset, I think.
Yeah, we're starting to get like some sort of spotlight.
Yeah.
But there's definitely so much hidden talent in this motherfucker. We're not getting as much as we need.
Yeah, I think people. It's not just in Sacramento, but I think people in general have this mindset that it has to be them against the world.
Yeah.
And that kind of fucks you up in something like this because people talk about wanting a team all the time, right? If you're not accepting of people that are actually trying to help you, then like you don't get a team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And if you're trying to carry that mindset, it could really what's it called? It could really fuck you up, or it can help you for sure too. I'm real big on like your I think your biggest strength is usually your greatest weakness also.
Straight up.
So I feel like if you got that chip on your shoulder, which a lot of us probably do have especially in like hip hop because of just the roots of what hip hop is.
Everybody does.
Just bigger. To some point. Yeah. I think it controls you. It can control you too much. So if you use that to like really step up and do things, then cool. And then if you fuck around and use it to kind of when somebody actually is banging on the door to kind of be like, hey, let me lend a hand, and you're just kind of like, nah, I got it from the mud. I got it from, I got to do it like this, and that, then I'm like, well, you don't really.
That's everybody's favorite line.
Yeah.
I got it out the mud.
That's a crazy line, right?
Bro,
what does that mean to you?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Because I know what it means, but not everybody.
Bruh, you can get out of the mud with a team.
Yeah, that too.
Straight up. Like, you don't have to be solo bolo.
You usually start, and you'll start solo anyway.
Oh God.
So it's one of those things where people are kind of contradicting. I don't think that's exclusive to Sacramento, but I think that's what could hold a group that's this talented back when people are really just kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
I think it's easily there's nothing preventing people other than themselves, especially around here.
Straight up. Yeah. That's dope, bro. So when did you start getting into making music?
So it's definitely still happened with the guitar, and then I was on and off. And then I was poor as hell, so I didn't have no fucking access to no computers or nothing. It's funny because technically right now, you have the most access to really make music, right? Because back in the day, you really had to know somebody, be in somebody's studio.
Not studio, out the closet.
Yeah, exactly. Just because of the nature of the equipment, right? Back then you had to have, however far back you want to get to, but you had to have tape at some point.
Yep.
Not everybody could do that, specialize in fucking splicing tape up and shit. You know what I mean?
When.
Yeah. And it feels like way back when, right? But technically, we're kind of young in the recording game.
Yeah, facts.
So, that was a big thing, and then it was just still the boards and stuff like that, things that weren't easily attainable. now you can go to Guitar Center and, like you said, really just record in your closet,
Bruh.
which is definitely dope for sure.
I think that's cool. But
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely oversaturates some type of shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's all a balance, right? You know, you got to really.
But there's always levels to that type.
Yeah,
of
yeah, and levels to it for sure. But even with it being as easily accessible as it is, it still does get a little bit pricey to like really get into it. You know,
Facts.
you gotta have a computer, right? Can't not have a computer. You gotta have a number, microphones, audio interfaces, whatever you gotta do to really like start up. You know, phones are so good now where people can kind of get away with the phone recording for sure.
Right.
And I feel like if you have that mindset, you could definitely just do that for sure.
Especially
but not,
if you do it good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how to use that.
Yeah.
You know how to use the phone.
Exactly.
Somebody with the same phone as you would
Yeah.
definitely don't know how to use that motherfucker.
Yeah. But even with all that, I didn't know how to even get started in that shit. So I was pretty ignorant until about, I got my first laptop at 18. They only got it for me because of college, you feel me?
Right. Yeah, facts.
So,
you gotta go to school.
Yeah, yeah. So at 18 is when I really, after a couple of years, I started to kind of look into, either engineering and or beat making.
Okay.
And then, like 2021, when I started, it's kind of when I got into the beat making part of it for sure. Yeah.
So growing up in the golden age, basically, of music, do you remember like the first CD that was ever given to you or you bought?
I don't know about given to me. I know I burnt a lot of CDs. I burned a shit ton of CDs.
All of them, huh?
One of my friends, had a computer. I didn't have no damn computer, but one of my friends had a computer. So I burnt a lot of CDs, and then I started to buy them, and I can't remember. I think the first one I bought myself was Hip Hop Is Dead. It's a Nas album, and it's I can't remember. It's like 05 or 06 or something like that.
Heavy.
But yeah, that was a dope one. And then I just started buying CDs. I used to have a case of CDs actually. yeah. Even at like 14, right? Like I said, I just couldn't get access to certain shit.
Yeah,
I had a CD player, bro.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm right there.
I had a CD player. So I had a CD player and a fat thing of CDs. So I had fucking
that little
everything.
disc thing, huh? It's a fucking fat ass container full of CDs, bro.
Yeah. I had the ones made for cars, so it was it was still fat, but it was a square, so it wasn't as big. It wasn't like the
whole
wasn't
deck
the flat one
with the cover on it and all type of extra shit, bro.
Yeah. It
that
was
the real move though.
Yeah, the one that I had was zippered.
Oh yeah. Oh okay, I know what you're talking about.
And then I started to get so many CDs. I had two of them because I had one for my burnt CDs.
Yep. And one for the real ones.
CDs.
That's dope, bro.
But yeah.
So why do you think like music is so important to the people in the culture?
What kind of like music in general, or are you talking about like a genre?
Like music in general, because everybody vibes to different shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think music can sometimes be cultural though too. I don't even think sometimes. That's for sure a thing.
Yeah.
Different cultures appreciate music for different reasons.
For
I
sure.
think in a general sense, music is just kind of music is healing for sure. If you're playing it or if you're just listening to it, a lot of people listen to it doing mundane tasks like cleaning and shit like that.
Yeah, most
So it really gets you to like a different point. Yeah.
Vibes, you feel me?
And like on a scientific level, it's a different part of your brain than most people are used to.
Tapping into.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, for example, even with me, I'm at a desk and that's not usually what I enjoy doing. But because it's like very intensive in terms of like I can focus on something and like really do it. It allows me to sit at a desk where I usually have to like be running around and shit.
Facts, on top of extra shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you do anything else besides like make beats and make music? I see you got that Cheatcode shirt on.
Oh yeah,
Nice merch.
This is for sure beats though. This is me producing a record with, the people that I fuck with, but yeah, recording. Mixing, mastering. We got a studio right here. This is where we're at right now. Soundbyte Studios.
Nice Soundbyte Studio.
Yeah. Me and my two partners. I fuck with very heavily. But yeah, we just recording, making my own music for sure, beats wise and stuff like that. Really anything I can dip my hand into, music wise for sure. I try to get into. But yeah, those are the main things for sure. audio services, if
Okay.
you will.
Everything. Yeah.
If you will, yeah.
I know y'all got the big speakers and.
Yeah, the live shit. I want to get into the live shit because even in school was taught just that's kind of an untapped thing. People don't think about it as much because it's just something that I think one, it's fun for everybody.
Yeah.
So of course you're not thinking of it as like a job or something like that. But I think performances can really set you apart.
Most definitely.
Especially as an artist. And if it doesn't sound cool, the naked ear is going to come to the show and just be kind of turned off low-key by you in that sense of the word. So it's just nice to get out and kind of like hopefully make it sound a little better than, some places, wherever you want to go, type of thing. We just want it to sound as good as it possibly can.
Right.
That's part of what we do here in the studio. So we try to take that into, anything sound-wise that we're doing. So.
Do you think listening to like different genres of music and shit like that helps you with your ear for making music?
Oh yeah, there's always different grooves and stuff you can tap into, different chords, different notes. There's a finite amount of them actually, like sound, and note wise, there's not unlimited amount of notes, but different genres will push you into different ways to utilize them.
Right.
So the way that
think about it, everything is the same thing.
Yeah.
They just flip it up a little different.
Yeah. Chords are an easy one to do that too, because there's really even less chords, it feels like sometimes. But then you can really get into all types of shit. Music is so broad.
Yeah.
That you can get into. And then in the hip hop space, you can do stuff like sampling stuff. So then that even gets
heavy.
Yeah, because you're literally taking that shit and just putting it on its face.
Bruh.
That
shit is
that could
crazy.
literally be something that you would never have heard of otherwise.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
That can either make or break the song too.
Yeah, for sure. If you're a sample based producer and you kind of miss a little bit, then yeah, you can kind of hear the difference in how it could have been, for sure.
Do you like rap and shit too, or you just produce music?
Nah, bro. Just beats and productions and mixing. There's enough rappers around.
Okay, I get it. That's what I tell everybody. Not everybody needs to be a rapper.
Yeah, not everybody needs to be. There's a lot of stuff you can do in the music industry.
Facts.
Which is that's a good point too. Actually, if we had more of like people who wanted to be, just the background stuff, I feel like in the city, then it might help a little more. And actually want to like take the time to do the research to understand what that actually means, rather than just kind of, people get lost in the sauce a lot.
Most definitely.
So you get into something because
that sauce is deep.
Yeah, because of how it looks on the outside.
Right.
Then you get into it and it's kind of what you expected, but it's really not.
Yeah. Your feet can't touch the bottom.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Then you're like, damn, I don't really want to do this. But if you just understood what that job was supposed to be like in the fucking first place, you're not the center of attention.
Right.
The artist in this industry is technically the center of attention.
Facts.
So if you want that and you're not an artist, then you're probably not gonna like do very well.
Right.
You can make a name for yourself because of social media nowadays, but you gotta like understand what your base job is. Like that always has to get served first, and then you can branch off. That's my opinion anyway. And that's how I feel like you create some type of value for yourself.
Facts, bro.
I
feel like a lot of people should live by that, honestly.
Yeah, man, you don't bring anything to somebody if you're just looking out for you.
Bruh.
The whole time, You can mutually benefit from people.
For sure.
You should definitely do that.
Right. Teamwork make the dream work.
But don't come in here thinking
it's just you.
Yeah, you gonna rocket launch off of something. You know what I mean? Just
not how that shit works.
It don't make sense.
So what's your creative process like when you in here making beats and shit like that? Is it different for when you have a different artist or?
Yeah, depends. Sometimes we'll people that I work super heavily with, people around City Sound or people in Soundbyte. Like I said, my two partners. We used to do this a lot more, but we used to come in and make the beat. They used to rap on it right after the beat. So everything was done from scratch, like right from the beginning type of thing. So if I'm with people, then I'll do that, and we'll kind of vibe without really saying anything, actually, depending on who I'm with. You know, if I have something that they like, usually get a reaction. I think that's probably true for anybody, right? Like, if you get no reaction, then you probably should do something else.
Yeah, a little different,
or
maybe?
At least, yeah. Or at least ask them, like, yo, you feeling this type of thing?
Is there something I can adjust?
Yeah.
Factuals.
You know, maybe they have, in that scenario, if I started, the people that I usually work with have already started writing, and the words can sometimes help me build the beat. So if, like, for example, Yeti, somebody that I work really closely with, if I start writing and Yeti starts to hum a melody or something like that, get a little bit of words down, then it kind of helps me get to the next part of the beat and maybe do the next part of it. If then when I'm by myself, it's just whatever I feel like.
Right, whatever's going on in your head.
Yeah. Maybe it's a melody, maybe it's the drums first, maybe it's a bass first. I don't really think too much. I try not to sit down and really like get into it in terms of like I'm gonna do this, and this.
Right.
It really has to be like a real natural feel for me. I can't but I can't wait also for that. I have to sit down and make sure that, because at the end of the day, we're professionals.
Yeah.
So you can't really like
sit there all fucking
you
day
can't
thinking about it.
and you can't wait for the opportune moment to strike. I don't really believe in that. I think that you create your own opportunities.
Facts.
So alone, I really got to sit down and just kind of like feel it out, and there's never anything it's wide open for me.
That's tight.
Yeah.
If you could work with like any big artist, who would you pick?
I'd probably pick like Kendrick. Yeah,
That'd be dope.
That was a big one back. I'm a real like West Coast type of that type of West Coast type of sound type
Heavy.
of dude. Yeah. Before I knew what a producer even was, I knew who Dr. Dre was, and I knew that he was a producer.
Right.
So that was like in terms of hip hop, that was like what really got me into.
You got top 3 favorite producers?
No, I don't think I have a top 3 favorite. Like I said, he's got to be number 1 for me just because of the influence.
Before anybody knew what a producer
I saw
was,
him
they
next
knew
to
Dr. Dre.
yeah.
Straight up.
Some people definitely have a different name in mind because there's a lot of dope producers from that era.
Timbaland,
DJ turned
shit like that.
Because he was a DJ or whatever type of thing.
Right.
Then,
Pharrell and shit.
Yeah, who was after. But then that was just something that, like I said, because I had so many influences, once hip-hop got introduced to me, it was like Tupac, Ice Cube. It was dudes that directly were...
Real West Coast shit.
Yeah, it was dudes and people who had directly worked with bro.
Oh, God.
So, when I'm like 5 years old or whatever it is, and somebody's playing California Love, and one of them's Tupac and the other one's Dr. Dre, then I'm going to ask who the other dude is.
Right.
And then when you get into like what he actually does, then I was like, oh, that's what that is. So he's got to be tops producer wise for me.
Would you want to work with him like out of everybody?
Oh yeah, that'd be dope. As a producer, for sure, it would just be cool to see the process and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like his creative process is wild.
Yeah. Somebody I know calls him a master percussionist, and I feel like that's what gives me the bounce, that West Coast shit that you hear that really like those drums and shit like that. Really get it. But rapper for sure would be Kendrick too, just because I can say older people because there was a time too when I was only listening to old school hip hop. But when Kendrick came on, that was who I really like. That was high school for me, kind of like maybe beginning of high school, maybe towards the end of middle school. Him and Wayne were like the 2 dudes that I was like listening to a lot for sure. So,
you ever thought about DJing?
Nah, not really. Not really.
Does producer doesn't really like fall into the DJ category or what?
I think that it can, depending on, I think that it's a good skill to know. I do want to just know how to do it for sure, but I feel like it's the same reason I don't rap, right? I feel like it's this is just my personal opinion, but I feel like
there's a lane for everybody.
Part of me, other than there being a lane for everybody, but part of me feels like if I can't give 100% to something, then I'm not gonna just do it just to do it. Facts. You know what I mean? As long as I can, I don't want to be insulting to the people who have mastered their craft or who at least are trying to do that, you know. People who are committing to really understanding the nuances of being a DJ, of being a rapper, you know, all that type of shit. So I feel like as long as you can put the time commitment and really take it, you know, all of this is fun. So obviously you're having fun for sure.
Facts.
But if you take the craft serious, then you can dabble into other stuff. But because of everything I already do, and that I really try to like get in on and like really hone in on, I can't always like take the time to just, I'm gonna dabble in that. Nah, that's fucking insulting to the motherfuckers who. That's fucking insulting to
whole
the
life and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's just what.
I get it, but that's how you test waters. That's how you figure out shit you're good at.
Yeah, definitely test the waters.
Yeah.
And definitely, like I said, if you
but
can
don't claim I'm super DJ.
yeah,
shit like
if
that.
if you can commit to like, you know, doing the shit, like I said, really understanding. I just feel like there's no real respect when it comes to that sometimes. Like people just want to do it just to do it.
Right.
I'm not trying to do stuff just to do stuff. Like I do things because I want to be good at them.
Facts.
And I don't want to be just good at them. I usually want to be like the best at them. So I got to work all of the time to either acquire the skills necessary to do that or to fine tune what I already have.
Facts.
But then if I'm branching off into like something that's too far off, then it's like, you know. So the DJing is definitely more interesting into like especially the producer stuff, because you know there's a bunch of DJs that were DJs first and then turned into producers later, especially back in the day, you know, just off of the roots of hip hop type shit, you know.
Right.
The fucking beginning of hip hop was radio personalities, radio DJs.
Facts.
You know, rapping over.
Yeah, big radio DJs.
Yeah. Fucking, if you go all the way back, it's radio DJs rapping.
Yeah.
And DJing, you know.
That's just crazy, bro.
Then it just evolved, right? You know, them in clubs and them doing, you know. So, yeah, I think I can get into it just because it's kind of similar, and the skill set, especially now with the technology, can kind of get me a little bit of an edge in terms of how to think. But I'll definitely get into that when I feel like the timing is right, for sure. And it'll never be like something where I'm like, DJ fucking Cheatcode or something. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't DJ Khaled out here. You feel me? Like, nah, we're not doing none of that. You know?
That would be the greatest thing ever, bro.
Nah, bro. DJ Cheatcode. Nah, you got me fucked up.
We need DJ Cheatcode, bro.
Shit, the only people who would probably see that would be anybody in this building.
Yeah,
so.
factuals.
So,
how do you feel like your ear for music has changed over the years?
I definitely can hear the detail in it more. Can hear the structure in it more. The detail is probably still the biggest thing.
You can get every bit and piece of that.
You know what? Yeah, you know what actually is funny that I realized is when I was young, I used to listen to lyrics heavy. So that's why I like, you know, I mentioned Kendrick, you know, big one for sure. Then as I got older, I was still listening to a lot of lyrics, but people's flow would interest me more than the actual lyrics itself.
Right.
I just like change up. So like if you have the same cadence and the same flow, then I get kind of bored.
Yep.
So that kind of like, especially when I was first making music, that kind of lent me a hand in how I would make beats, because I don't really like to hear beats that have no change either. Right. You know, I want to hear something that kind of
switch it up a little bit.
And most people do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do it in a way that is even more damn near, you know, almost to a dramatic extent sometimes. You know what I mean?
Extra.
Yeah, sometimes.
I get it,
and then there's like a middle ground that I have to meet, right? But the thing I noticed even more too was that now I don't even hear lyrics, bro. Like
just beat now.
Yeah, damn near. Like for the first if I have like a new project that I'm listening to, the first like week or two, I do not hear like any real lyrics, you know? Like people in the building or just friends in general will recite lines from like a new song that we either all heard around the same time or something like that. And I'm just like, I don't remember that line at all.
I get it, bro. even though I'm not like into making music and all that extra shit, but I could definitely hear what you're saying because I get that shit too. I'm sitting here like, damn, bro, I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just heard the beat.
It's not what I'm listening to
Yeah.
yet. Because when I'm listening to beats, especially if I like them, I'm trying to hear what they're doing kind of at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also just enjoying the sound of the beat. And then what the lyrics just end up being an extra melody.
Right.
So that's changed a lot because I used to just memorize lyrics like quick. And now because I don't listen to the lyrics as much, I'll forget. Yeah. I'll remember them in like a little while, but I'll remember the beat structure before I remember the lyrics now. So
what's one message you'd give to the people?
What people?
Your people.
Who do I?
Everybody.
Whose people do I have? You know. I don't know. I think it definitely does depend on who I'm talking to. I'm not gonna lie. If I was talking to like the general people, what am I trying to give, like a message or like
some good advice?
Just some good advice, you know.
Trying to keep their hair on straight and shit like
you
that.
Know? Yeah, your real son type shit.
Yeah. Hey, treat him like your son. You feel me?
No, I'm just playing. I feel like it's tough to give one piece of advice. I feel like if anything, you should probably just people should practice more patience. Maybe it's probably the only thing. If I were to like make my thoughts a little more structured, I feel like people are always in a rush, or they always want to do something in a certain way. If it doesn't work out,
yeah,
you know, you could really get off track type of thing.
You can't rush perfection.
Yeah, or even that. You know, see, that's another thing. That's what I mean. Like, it depends on who I'm talking to, right? Because like everybody's so different. Maybe that's what I would tell people, is that because people are so different, you should probably handle things differently.
Right.
You know, everybody's very one way, one track thing when you talk to people, not realizing that that's another human being with his own
input, his own mindset, all the shit,
and his own preconceptions. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know where this person's from, that person's from. A lot of stuff goes into that. So I can't tell somebody else to be patient and then tell somebody else to not be perfect, because some people let themselves not do stuff because they want it to be perfect.
Right.
That to me is a fucking terrible thing to do, because you're just like in a standstill with yourself. Yep. You're just like,
little do you know,
like a
what
deer.
You do could be perfection.
Yeah, you don't know, because it's also, especially if we're talking music, you know, that shit is all subjective.
Right.
So you can't like just stand still in music because you don't know who's gonna like what.
Facts.
And then some people just have to be patient because you shouldn't, because music is so powerful, and because making music gives you like a high, almost like an adrenaline rush. Everything is the shit. Right. Everything is great. That shit everything is right this, and that. Oh, this is gonna get me this way, or this place. Facts. It's just like there's so much more that goes into that shit, you know. As an artist, you know, the music is like 10% of this stuff. You got all the extra shit, all the marketing, all the other extra shit. So
what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
I don't know. Shit, I was going to school before this. I wouldn't have finished, that's for sure. I was going to Sac State, and then I went to City, so I would have had to probably do something with my hands, you know. Maybe I would be at my old job that I just quit recently, in terms of
where were you at?
March. It was a local business. It was a architecture / interior design. I was moving furniture. Okay. So I was one of like usually like a 2-person thing.
2 men 1 truck type of shit.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. But like way high end, right? I'd be going to like El Dorado Hills and shit.
Oh yeah, out the way.
Bro, I used to go to we used to go to Truckee.
They got badass houses up there.
Yeah, we used to go to Truckee too. You know, in Truckee they got like the top 1% of wealth in all of California.
Ridiculous.
So that means it's probably like top 1% in like all of the U.
Bruh, how about everywhere?
But yeah, big ass houses with like 3 stories and elevators
Ridiculous
sometimes.
movie
and shit
theater
like
and
that.
they shit, all type of dumbass shit, bruh. Like, all right, G, how about you leave the house?
If
a
you
little
can
bit?
afford it, yeah, for real. But I might be doing that. You know, it was rough.
Yeah, I get it.
It's one of those things. I thought I was gonna do construction because you know that's hands.
Right.
I could move, but a lot of that stuff is just back breaking. You know,
Facts,
and
bro.
I just didn't want to be breaking my back for 20+ years. You know?
Forever, yeah. And by the time you're 50 years old,
And with nothing to
proof
show for it. You know, I didn't love it, so since I've been young, I've known I had to do something that I really want to put the time into.
Facts.
And with this music shit, it's something that I really want to put the time into, so I can really commit. You know, people don't want to work past like 8 hours, which is definitely understandable.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing this, then I'm more than willing to do that.
Facts,
so,
bro. Especially because you're working for yourself.
Yeah. So it'd be tough. I would definitely probably be trying to find a different business that I could put that type of focus into.
Right.
Real put it into like just a one track, just grind it all the time. That's just what I'm used to. It's what I've been doing, what feels like for my whole life. So I really just have to grind at things. That's without having anything specific. That's for sure what I would be doing. Just
Right.
trying to find something that I could just grind out and really, you know, get myself ahead of where me and my entire family have been in my entire life. So, yeah.
So what's next for Cheatcode? You got any dope features on the way with anybody? I know you don't make the music, but you make the music.
I
you
make
know
the
what I'm
music,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Got any dope collabs with anybody
I'm
on
the
the way?
start. No.
Yeah. Who you got, Cheat? Give the people
nah.
some sneak peeks.
I don't know. I don't have any. I'm not big on the sneak peeks either, but there's not like any set plans for sure. I definitely have had talks. You know, I did, like we pointed out earlier, I had the Cheatcode tape.
Mm-hmm.
That was multiple artists. But what I'm going to try to do this time is I'm going to try to do like singular artists with a few things. Because I just want to get to, I mean, the point of this, and any music that I make, I feel like is kind of like 3-pronged.
Right.
So it's obviously to help me because I want to be able to produce tracks, not just, you know, make beats and just send them out. Because I just like to make music like that. You know,
Facts.
I enjoy the back and forth, the collaborative spirit, basically. And then the other part of it is kind of what we were talking about artist-wise, is that I feel like people kind of get in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to help the people that I want to be involved with get past certain hurdles and maybe get to certain things.
Facts.
And then that third part is just that it helps both of us type of thing. So I
Right.
feel like, you know, if I'm bringing attention to this thing because it's mine and I'm a part of it, then it'll help us both. But outside of that, you know, really just been more focused on, you know, the recording studio,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Free verses.
yeah, the YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because that serves as it too, right? You know, we're starting to get other artists in there to get a light on them,
Right.
get a light on everybody
The whole city, really.
Yeah. Trying to get past the hurdle that I see,
Facts.
which was, like I said before, just people not being as open to certain things without having to get something back for it.
Right.
You know, really having to get something like tangible back for it. You know, not seeing the wide picture.
Bigger picture, straight up, bro.
The huge,
A lot of people don't see that
the
shit.
huge picture. You know, so the YouTube for sure is a thing. It then, you know, the free verses, me and Yeti, you know, hold down the Yeti flips with people. You know, just trying to grow and expand Soundbyte and help the guys out, City Sound. You know, trying to grow together type shit. But there's no like.
There's no cap. There's no ceiling to
There's
this
no
shit.
cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, there's not a cap of stopping and or going. I guess,
Right.
for lack of a better term. Like when I feel like it's time to start to focus on other things is when I know that I'll start to focus on other shit. Right now I can juggle,
Right.
so I can do some of this music shit with particular people, and then I can do the business part of it. And as long as I can continue to do that, there will
Good
be
balance.
there'll be no balance is key.
Yes, sir.
That's the message. Balance is key.
I really appreciate you for coming through, my boy.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Another one.
Yep.